What is your name?
My name is Jarvis.
Who create you?
I was created by the team at Mark Zuckerberg's Artificial Intelligence Laboratory at Harvard University.
What is artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science that deals with creating intelligent.
Hi there, this is Chandu and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to see that how can we make our J.A.R.V.I.S more powerful using OpenAI. You know, OpenAI is an open source library which can support on different platforms like Python, so that our J.A.R.V.I.S can give here the answer of any kind of question. So without any further ado, so let's get started. So first, what we're going to do, we are going to create one question and answer bot using the OpenAI. For that, you need to install this library on the system. Just open your command prompt and type here pip install, and the library name is called OpenAI. So using this OpenAI, you can actually build your own chatbot. That's in question and answer chatbot. So now what I'm going to do, I am going to actually import here the OpenAI. So let's say OpenAI. So in order to use this OpenAI library on your system, that's in Python script, you need to also need one API. So where you actually get the API, you are actually get the API on their official website. So this is the official website of the OpenAI, and you can see the OpenAI. If I go on the examples, and you can see the question and answer examples on that you are going to actually use here. So there are so many examples you can actually use it. So you need to first go on this website and you need to sign up here using your Gmail. And if you go on, click on this here, and you can see here the view API key, and you can actually get here one secret key. So this is the API key. So using this API key, you can actually using all the examples that is already available in the OpenAI website. So just go on here, view API key. I am just going to copy this API key. So now I'm going to use this API key in our OpenAI. So let's say OpenAI dot API key. So this is our API key. So I need to actually paste it here as a string format. Okay, right? So for the security purpose, I'm trying to actually store it inside another Python file so that I can call it later on. Okay. So let's say API keys dot py. So I'm going to make it here, let's say one variable that's called API, let's say data. And I am going to paste it here, my API key in this format. Okay, so I passed my API key. So now I am going to save it here and go to the main file, and I'm going to call this this API key. So let's say from API key, that's mean this is the API key. I'm going to import here the API data. Okay, this is our API data. Now I'm going to use this API data call. Okay, so for the security purpose, actually do that. You can actually paste it as a string format, no problem. So now what I can do, I am going to actually creating one completion for that. So let's say OpenAI dot completions. So this is the completion. So now I'm going to store into inside one variable that's called the completion. So let's say complete. Well, so now what I can do, I am defining one functions to actually getting the reply from the OpenAI. So let's say def reply. So this reply actually taking some questions, and using this question we can actually give here the answer from the bot. Okay, so let's give here this one. And now what I can do, we need to actually initialize here on prompt, and based on the prompt we are going to actually give here some answer. So let's say prompt equal to, you are going to prompt, that's in our how the question and answer actually looks like. Let's say if I am see that, let's say I am Chandu. Okay, I have one questions. Let's say Chandu. Let's say how are you? How are you? Okay, right? And our bot, or you can say our chat bot, or you can say the OpenAPI bot, actually give here the answer like that. OpenAI, let's say hello, hi, how are you? How are you? I'm fine. So this is one kind of prompt. It's nothing but called the chat log, right? So we are going to actually make it like that as a prompt of the OpenAI. So for that, what I can do, we can actually using here the F string. So let's say F. So let's say I am asking the question. So let's say Chandu. So I am asking the question to the bot. Let's say Chandu asking the question to the bot. So let's say Chandu, and I am going to pass it the questions. So let's say questions. So my questions, and our OpenAI actually give me the answer. So let's say backslash n, and let's say OpenAI, or you can say Jarvis, because you're going to implement it inside later on in our Jarvis. So let's say Jarvis. So our prompt is ready. So now what I can do, we are going to actually taking some response from our completions. Okay. So let's take the command from the completion. So let's say completion. So what is this completion dot create? Now I need to create one just simple question and answer bot. So for that, we need to actually initialize here our prompt. Okay, let's actually paste here prompt equal to prompt and engine. We need to actually also initialize here our engine, and engine is nothing but our text JBNC002. So this is our engine. So now what I can do, we can actually get some response from here. So that's this create response. So let's say this one our response, and now based on this response we can get some answer. Okay, so let's say we are going to taking the answer from our response. So let's say response dot choices. So choices from the first index, we get the text. Now when you get the text, you also trying to strip it, right? Then we are going to store it inside one variable. Let's call this our actually answer. Okay, answer, and you're going to finally you're going to return it for the this for these functions. So let's say answer. Okay, not and answer. That should be the answer, right? So now it's time to test it out that that our code is working here fine. That our OpenAI actually give us the output or correctly or not. So we are going to call the function here. Let's say reply, and let's say give here one question. So let's say what is AI? Okay, and we get one answer. Okay, so let's say answer. Now I'm going to print it here. So let's say try to print the a answer. Well, so now let's save it and run the code on here. Well, we got the output AI, which stands for the artificial intelligence is a process of programming a computer. Well, so we got the answer correctly, right? So now what I can do, we can also test it out for another one. So let's say what is the let's say what is let's say what is TensorFlow. TensorFlow. Okay, so TensorFlow is nothing but one machine learning library, right? So which one actually used for solving some machine learning tasks. So you can see TensorFlow is a free and open source software library for data analysis. That's really cool. Okay, so that's really cool. So you can also add here one another property that's called a stop. We can actually do that. No problem. If it actually taking the output as a chando and it will actually stop them. So we can also run it again. So let's say what is data science? Well, let's try to run this code here and see the output of that. So there is no definitive answer to the questions, but data science generally. Okay, I think he have no answer for this data science. So let's say what is machine learning. Let's say machine learning. Let's save it now and also try to run this out. Now you can see here the colon is gone here because of this stop. That's why the colon is actually showing up. Okay, so machine learning is the scientific study of the algorithm and the statistical model that computer system used to. Well, so our model actually working here fine here. So now what I can do, we are going to actually add here our Jarvis thing. That's in our speech to text recognition part. So now what I can do, we are going to first import here some module. So let's say import the PyTTSX3, and also we need the speech recognition. So let's say import speech recognition. So speech recognition as SR. Then we also need the web browser. If you're trying to open the YouTube or the Google or the Stack Overflow or the GitHub as your command, you can actually using this web browser. No problem. Okay. So now what I can do, we are going to now creating one engine for our PyTTSX3. So let's say PyTTSX3 dot. So you're going to actually initialize here one bias, that is default bias by Windows machines. So that's called SAPI 5. So let's say SAPI 5. So now let's initialize it inside one variable that's called our engine. So this is our engine. So using this engine, we are going to actually speak. Okay. So now what I can do, we are going to actually set one property to our engine. So let's say engine dot that is called the set property. So this property. So this is nothing but property of the biases. So let's say biases. Okay. So this is the property of the biases. So let's initialize into, or you can say assign into one variable that's called bias. Then we are going to actually get the property of that. We actually set the property, right? So I think it the get the property, it's not the set the property. First you need to get the property, and after that you can actually set it, right? So now we are going to set it on our engine. So let's say engine dot set property. Just we're going to actually set the property of the bias that you actually got it here. So let's give here one name. So let's give here one simple name that's called biases, and you need to give here the ID of that. So let's say biases, and this ID is nothing but 0 and dot ID. So this should be the biases, right? Call. So now we are going to define one simple function to speak it. Let's say speak, and it will take one text. And now we are going to using this engine to say the audio. So let's say, or you can say text. So let's say. So what are you going to say here? We are going to say the text, and also we are going to say engine dot run and wait. Okay. Then what I can do, we are going to call the function, this speak function. So let's say speak. Let's say speak. Let's say hello, how are you? Say hello, how are you? Okay. So now I am going to run the code here. Let's run the code here.
Hello, how are you?
Well, you can see, you can actually hear that hello, how are you? Cool. So now you're going to actually assign this reply inside our speak functions, and also we actually taking, we actually define one function which can take the command using our microphone. So now it's time to define one function. Let's say def take command. So we are going to just define one function which is taking the command from our microphone. So we are going to actually using here this speech recognitions. So let's say sr dot. First, we need to actually create one recognizer which can actually recognize the bias. So let's say r equal to sr dot recognizer. So we are going to recognize the bias using our microphone. So let's say with ether dot microphone. So using the microphone, we are going to actually taking the source of the audio. So let's say with ether dot microphone as source, we are going to actually save it now. So now it's the condition of the listening. That's our Jarvis, or our the machine is actually listening for our command. So let's say listening. Okay. Now what I can do, we actually give here some pause threshold for sometimes. So let's say pause threshold equal to 1. And now what I can do, we are going to actually listen it using our speech recognizer. So let's say r dot listen. So r dot listen, you are going to actually pass here our source. That's mean this source. Okay, that is come using our microphone. So now we are going to actually store into the variable that's called the audio. Okay. So now we need to actually recognize the audio, that is the English or the Bangla or the Hindi, like that. So for that, we are going to actually using our the Google recognizer. So for that, I am trying to actually use the r dot recognized by Google. Okay, it's Google, and inside that I am going to pass here my audio and my language. So which language that I'm actually using here? So I am going to use here the language of English Indian. Okay. Then I'm going to print that one simple query. That's because this is our query that we actually say on here. So let's say query equal to r dot recognizer using the Google. So now I can actually print it. Let's say this is user set, that's in Chando set. So let's say Chando set. Okay. Now I am going to actually using here one simple f string. So let's say query. Okay, not like that. That is using here format, and I'm going to pass here the query. Okay, this query. Okay, and also better give here one simple backslash. Okay, cool. Now I am going to also print here one simple thing that's called recognizing. Okay, that's called recognizing. In this one, recognizing. Okay, NIJING, recognizing, right? So if there is any error, so we can also make it inside our try and accept block, so that if there is any error, we can actually handle it clearly. Let's accept. So we actually get here some exception as s. Then you're going to print, let's, if there any expression or you cannot say anything, so let's say that what you want. Okay, okay, let's just say that again. Okay, then what I can do, we are going to return here one non-string. So let's say return the none, because they it's have no, actually no, what do you call, no query right there. So that's why we are going to return it as a run, so that we don't get any error. Then finally we're going to return here our query. So return the query. Okay, so now it's well user set and the query and backslash n. Okay, well, so now it's time to run the code here. Also we can, okay, let's try to use this take command. We need to also call it, right? So for that, what I can do, we need to also call it inside our main function. So let's say if name equal main. Now I need to call this function that's called the take command, so that we can actually use this take command, or let's say make it lower. Okay, why this error, and store into the variable that's called query. And now if I'm trying to print the query, okay, let's say print the query, so this query. So how can actually call it? You need to call it infinite time. Let's say while true. Okay, so if this query is actually consisting the by, if by in query, so you're going to just break this loop. So let's say by in query, then you're going to break this infinite loop, right? So now it's time to test it out that it is working here fine or not. So let's run the code here.
Hello, how are you?
What is artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science that deals with creating intelligent.
Do you know about the Kedarnath temple?
Yes, I know about the Kedarnath temple. It is.
Okay, well, so you can see here, Hoyan, I am not actually give here any command. It actually give here one error. It's called non-type object has no attribute lower. And also it actually give here the not, it will give not go give you the full answer. Yes, I know about the Kedarnath temple, but it is dot dot dot. It's not actually give here the full answer. So this is called the token. So we can actually initialize here the maximum number token, how many token that you're going to actually get. So we can also solve this problem also. So let's say uh, the problem is actually happening because of return. This is one simple string. Just actually pass here none. You can actually give here also your name. Okay, now I am going to actually initialize your another property that's called the max number of tokens. Okay, let's say give here 200. Okay, so max number tokens. So now if I'm to save it and run the code here again.
Hello, how are you?
Do you know about Kedarnath temple?
Yes, the Kedarnath temple is a Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Shiva that is located in the Kedarnath town in the Indian state of Uttarakhand.
Do you know about the Jagannath Puri?
No, I don't know about it.
So what is machine learning and deep learning?
Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that deals with the creation of algorithms that can learn from and make predictions on data. Deep learning is a branch of machine learning that uses algorithms called neural networks to learn from data in a way that closely resembles the way the human brain learns.
What is your name?
My name is Jarvis.
Who create you?
http://hr.embly.com/difference-java-jdk-j2se-j2ee-j2me. Jarvis, okay too. Shando got the link. Thanks.
Who create you?
I was created by the team at Mark Zuckerberg's Artificial Intelligence Laboratory at Harvard University.
Open YouTube.
Hi Shando, welcome to Jarvis. To open YouTube, please say open YouTube. None.
Open Google.
https://www.google.com.
Okay, Jarvis. Tata, bye bye.
Okay bye. Hello Tata. Hi there.
Okay, so that's all about that, the whole tutorial, and you can see how smartly our bot actually gave you the answer. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and make sure to subscribe my channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon for never miss any update and we'll be back with the tutorial. So till then, take care and bye bye.